Hey y'all, I'm Chef Kelly English, and today we are cooking on this 18-inch Kamado Grill from Ash Ember, and they got this fancy table that comes along with it too. We are gonna be making a spatchcock chicken, but there's so many things you can make on this thing. I've got some coals going. We're gonna talk about a lot having to do with this grill today. Let's get started. Got my coals nice and glowing. We are just going to put them right here inside the inner cylinder. There is a couple of different parts of this grill, and they have different cylinders to protect the grill, to protect you, and just to make a great product. You're going to love this thing. We've got our coals going. They're about to turn to glowing heat, and I'm going to run you through a few of the features. There's so many things that it does. You've got parts on the bottom, parts on the top that will let you control smoke, flavor, temperature, all kinds of things. So first things first, up top, we've got this nice little chimney guy right here that you can close to keep some smoke in. You can also adjust how open it is just by twisting that around. You can close it completely and keep all the smoke in there. Now, if you do that, it will keep the temperature lower. So if you want a higher temperature, you definitely want to let some air through. Speaking of air through, down here at the bottom, you've got a couple of different controls right here to let air go all the way through. You can keep this open to let full exposure come in. You can close it a little bit with some holes in it so you've got some air, and you can cut it off completely. So if you're smoking ribs or if doing other things, letting things rest and stay warm, you could get it really smoky, close it up and let it sit in there, and you're good. And if you're grilling steaks actively and you want some fire underneath it, the way I like to do it, I like to get my fire the temperature I want it, leave this kind of all the way open, and leave this with the holes open. But there's a multitude of ways that you can get temperature, flavor, and smoke levels the way you want them for whatever it is you're cooking. Maybe the most important safety feature that you need to keep in mind when you're cooking with one of these things are powerful. And you got to do something called burping it. This is as easy as it gets. All you have to do before you open it all the way is you give it a little bit of oxygen right there and let it go to make sure a fireball doesn't surround you and everything you're cooking. First thing we got to do to spatchcock our chicken is to have a grill to cook on. We got it hot already. We're going to burp it to open it. And I have my grill ready to have indirect heat on it. I'm going to easily place this in there. Just like that. I'm going to close this guy back up, and we're going to start working on our chicken. We've got our grill right here, hot and ready to go. We're going to spatchcock this chicken. Really easy thing to do. Sounds super technical. All it is we're going to take the backbone out of the chicken, and we're going to flatten it out. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to take off the ends of these wings, just like that. I'm going to cut a little slit like there, and then I'm going to do that. Super easy. Again, we're just going to take a slit like that. We're going to bend so I know where it is, and then we're going to take it off just like so. Easy, easy. I'm also going to cut off any excess skin that might exist in the front of the chicken. So I've got my chicken here, right? Everybody knows what that looks like. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to grab these kitchen shears, and I am just going to start cutting through the bone, through everything. I want to make sure that I don't cut the thigh. I want to keep all those pieces in there. But we're basically cutting the back and the neck out of this chicken. I like to keep a knife around, just like that. So you can see what we have right here. We've got our neck and our backbone right there. I'm going to grab this guy again. I'm going to start cutting up. And you can save these bones. I like to save them and put them in the freezer, and I'll make a chicken stock out of them once I have enough neck and backbones. Okay, it's really, really simple. This will cut your cook time down a whole lot too. It gives you a better surface area when you're grilling. I've got my guy right there. Now you may be wondering, how am I going to flatten this out? Really easily. I'm just going to kind of flatten that breastbone right there, just like that. And you end up with an intensely flat chicken. Just like I always like to do when I'm teaching people how to cook, I only use salt and pepper. What you want to put on there besides that is up to you. This could be lemon pepper, this could be barbecue seasoning, this could be a whole lot of different things, but I am going to use salt and pepper. And I'm going to get aggressive with it because you only get one opportunity to season your animal, especially when you're talking about a whole animal like this. So we are going to get a nice coating of salt on here on both sides. Make sure that we are getting every piece of this thigh, this drumstick, the back of this, the front of this. We're going to eat all sides of it. I've got some pepper right here. We're going to hit this with pepper. And you always want to put salt on before pepper because salt brings moisture out and lets other things attach on top of it. If you put your pepper on first, it'll kind of close that up and your salt will fall right off of it. We've got a nice healthy seasoning going here, and we're going to check our temperature. Where are we? We're right in the middle of grilling, which is where we want to be. Now, we talked about burping earlier. I'm going to do that real quick, just a little bit right there. Also, you may be wondering, why is this one black and the one you have white? That's because I've used mine before. I've used it a lot of different ways, from charcoal to smoking with wood, and the more you use it, the more patina this will get. So yours is going to look like this soon too. We're going to take our bird and put it right in the middle of this grill. I see a spot I missed with a little bit of seasoning. I'm going to take care of that now. Last thing I want is for somebody to eat something that isn't ready and fully seasoned. Now that we have our spatchcock chicken going, we're going to close this up. We're going to come back later and check on this guy. In the meantime, I'm going to clean this up and we'll be back in a little bit. Let's check on our chicken. It's right about 400 degrees, so we're staying right where we need to be, in between 350 and the grilling range. Let's see how we're looking. I'm going to burp it. I'm going to open it. My God, that looks good. I think our spatchcock is good and ready. Let's check it out. Oh, he's good and ready. We're going to take him off. Smoky, juicy, perfectly cooked. Only way you can get something like this is to cook it on an Ash Ember Kamado Grill.